Hi guys, so you may recall about 3 weeks ago that these guys turned up. This is the Apple AirPods. I'm sure you know that because the title says the conclusion to the Apple AirPods review. This is the third week in of using these now, and this is my conclusion. Are they really worth the £159? Can you get something better that works with Android, PC, your laptop and your iPhone? Let's find out as I go through everything I know about this from my own experience and tell you whether they're worth buying or not. So cast your mind back to September 2016 when Apple did fully announce the AirPods along with the iPhone 7, and there was a delay. They were due out at the end of October. I initially didn't put any orders down because I was a little bit skeptical about whether they were any good or not, but Apple being Apple, they do try to innovate and obviously go that a little bit extra, and yeah, so I held off. However, good job I did, because they weren't even available October. They only started being shipped around December time. So I did order a set once I started to get some initial reviews that they were quite good. And I did my first review. So my first video, if you haven't seen that, go and watch that now. The link will be in the bottom down there. And then come back here. And once you come back here, we will talk about the conclusion to this. Now, put the delay aside for 1 minute, it doesn't matter. This is what I've been using for the past 3 weeks as my wireless headset. These are my Razer Hammerhead Pro V2s. Now this is what is my daily driver, so I would use these with my iPhone and also my PC gaming. And then of course you got the standard Apple AirPods, which are obviously genuine Apple stuff, but as you can see they're actually in a bit of a mess. But nevertheless, this is what I normally use, and these are pretty darn good actually for gaming wise as well. Very, very good. These pair up with the iPhone brilliantly. There is absolutely no question. You just simply flick the lid, a little message pops up, and again, if you look at my video, it connects and boom, you're done. That information, I believe, is stored in iCloud. So if you have another iPhone, an iPad or a Mac, then it all seamlessly comes together. Now on my MacBook, when I did try and pair this up, it was there. I just had to click connect and boom, it had all worked. The start stopping of taking one out, putting one in was absolutely fine, no issues with that. And again, size wise, they're not that much different to the AirPods. The stems are slightly longer. I'm going to stick them in now. The stems are quite longer, and I don't feel I look that bad, to be honest with you. So for 3 weeks solid, I've been going around with this, and to be honest, I'm not embarrassed about it. I'm probably the only one that I've seen wearing them at this stage, but I do think as time goes on, more and more people will get them. I'm hoping one day Apple will introduce them with maybe an exclusive iPhone or some sort of package deal. Don't know if that will happen or not. Now, audio wise, I would say they're quite good. They're slightly better than these, but I think for gaming sound, the Razer Hammerhead 2, they do beat it. But I'm comparing apples and pears here, so what I'd like to try and do is just compare them to this. Now these, obviously, yes, we know they're wired, but the audio on these is far better than this. I definitely feel like for chatting, talking to people on the phone, dictating to Siri and listening to music, I've had no issues with that at all. Taking one out does pause the music. I've heard people say that that's not the case, and I think this is probably down to the sensors that are actually on these AirPods, and if they're not seated into the ear properly, I think that can cause the issue. But for me personally, it's not been a problem. If I'm watching YouTube, whether it's on the MacBook or the phone, you take one out and it pauses, it's great, and then put one back in and it's fine. So I've not personally had any issues with that at all. Battery wise, now I went 2 weeks. If you follow me on Instagram, which is SonicR360, you will see over the past almost 3 weeks now, I went through a whole period of taking snapshots of the battery levels on the battery case, and I went 2 weeks using these for about an hour a day, roughly an hour and a day, maybe music, phone calls, maybe 2 hours. I think I went with just pure music. Battery life for me was great when I did not recharge this at all. I think I got it down to about 3%. These stopped charging, I think they stopped charging at 5%. So I would basically drain these out as much as I could before I then had to go and recharge the case. But the charge time was absolutely brilliant, and again on Instagram I've done some pictures to give you an idea of what it's like. But I think it's about 15 minutes. So if I went and put the kettle on, made a cup of tea, and had these on charge, brought it back in, they were almost literally at 60-70% charge. It was bloody quick, very, very quick. So no issues in terms of charging, and for me personally, no issues on battery life at all. I've already touched on the call quality, which I thought was fine. One slight niggle I would say is that obviously this double tap for Siri can be a little bit annoying. Obviously if you don't have a data connection, Siri won't work. I do feel Apple's missed something here, because if I hold this up, I would have liked volume controls to be a gesture movement. So stroke down to turn the volume down, and stroke up to turn the volume up. I don't know if that sounds stupid or not, or maybe 3 taps to initiate a skip a track or something, or like up and tap or down and tap. I just feel like Apple may have missed something. But remember, these are the first generation, so it may change. So there may be a different set that come out with that gesture, or whether the W1 chip has got some sort of embedded software that allows you to update these via the iPhone, via Bluetooth. I don't know. I mean, that's the only criticism I'd probably have. Siri was okay for me, but if I'm perfectly honest, just listening to the music, I just normally have a random track of playlists of songs, and it's fine. I don't have much issues. I've done it with Spotify. Obviously I've got YouTube. I do listen to podcasts as well, and normal iTunes radio. So all of that seems to work absolutely fine in terms of the listening quality. So I don't have any issues with this at all. Are they worth it? That's probably the biggest question. I would say yes. Now, despite the fact I was probably very, very sad to have spent £160 on these, I've got to say that these are probably the best wireless headsets I've had for that sort of money. It is the most I've paid out, but they are very, very good. And one thing that I do like is that if I leave my iPhone or my Mac down here and I've initiated a call, an audio call, or listening to music, I can go out to the garden, I can go to my car, I can go upstairs, and it still works. Where the other headsets I've had, they just haven't been that good. Obviously I can't compare them to this because you're fixed, but the quality was great. I've got to say the range of Bluetooth for me was personally absolutely excellent, so I had no issues with that at all. What else can I talk to you about? Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, people may think, oh, you look a little bit stupid having these in your ear. I truly don't think that's the case at all. I think more and more people will probably have these. Once you see and hear the benefit to them, you wonder why you went to wires in the first place. And I know that the controversial move of iPhone getting rid of the socket is still a little bit sore with some people. For me, it's not the end of the world. My MacBook, my 12-inch MacBook and the Pro does have a headphone socket, but honestly, I have been using these. I don't lie, because I don't want to be saying, you know, I'm sponsored by Apple or anything like that. I'm not. I've paid for this. If you want a receipt, I'll show you. But £159, 160 quid, it's too much money. But the benefits of these, to me, make it worth it. It's a lot of money that I could have spent elsewhere. But I do think if you really want true wireless headset, I don't think you can go wrong with these at all. For me, it's the convenience factor. It is the form factor as well. They just plonk right in, close them up, they're fine. One thing I did notice is that sometimes the case can get a little bit dirty with some fluff around it. Using a microfiber cloth cleans it absolutely fine. And again, charge time hasn't been that bad for me at all. I don't think I've got the Apple's quoted times, but if you base it on my 2 weeks usage, for me personally, and for the amount of music and calls that I make, I've been more than happy with the battery life. So it hasn't been a real drama. You know, I think Apple claimed about 5 hours music or something like that. I probably had, I'll be honest, probably about 4.5, but then I get fed up with the music and then I make a phone call. So if you work all that in total, it it probably is near that sort of figure, but I haven't timed it, continuously. But it's a real world experience. I mean, I'm not here to say, here's my watch, let's put this on a timer. There's no point. Every environment is different. If it's different, everyone uses them. It's going to be different. The point I'm trying to make is that once you make this will be an investment. Apple may come along with a second generation at one point, maybe this year, next year. For now, these are definitely well worth the cost. I have no question on that at all. I'm very, very happy with them. I was originally going to make a short video, and I've just realised I've gone over about 10 minutes or so. So yeah, I'm not praising Apple, but I am praising the technology that's gone into this as well, and I think that's what we do forget. I know there was some concerns about the battery life when people got these, but there is a reset button here. I understand if you hold and reset this, the battery life should get kicked in, but I've not needed to do this. Out of the box, everything's worked absolutely fine. Now, if I've missed anything, please put a comment below, and then I'll answer any questions you got. I'm going to carry on using these, but I won't do a follow-up video. My overall impression is, are they worth it? Yes, they are worth it. I am going to do a video where I'm going to be using these connected up to my PC as well, so do look out for that, and I'll give you an idea whether that's any good or not. I'm not going to compare them to these. I don't think that's fully justified, because these are literally in-ear and they are like noise cancellation, but they're really good. I can't praise these enough, but I cannot even praise these enough either, because they're just good in their own right. But I will do a video with these on, so keep an eye out for that. In the next probably 4 or 5 days, I'll try and get a video done, a zombies game, and I'll try and use the Bluetooth headset. I'm sure they pair absolutely fine. I've had no problem pairing it with an Android, and as I said, the Macs all using iCloud is absolutely fine. Right, that's it. So, did you like the video? Please give it a thumbs up if you like. That's brilliant. If you've got any questions, concerns, comments, or want anything explained, give me a shout. Leave a comment below, and I will try and respond back as soon as possible. As always, thanks very much, and I'll see you on the very next video.